Being overweight in martial arts is not limited to sumo. We have seen this heavy fighter dominating Asian mixed martial arts. We have already seen Daniel Cormier, who is known for his impressive takedowns. Today, we'll discuss another overweight character with dynamite in his fists and a high-carb diet. He won the appreciation of the mixed martial arts public, and somehow became a star of the UFC, Ultimate Fighting Championship. Welcome to the Lixiverse, a new fantastic fat man, Roy Nelson. He was born on June 20th, 1976 in Las Vegas in the state of Nevada, United States. Our protagonist's father worked as a firefighter, while his mother was a homemaker. And of course, having a father with such a physical job pushed Mini Roy to practice sports. Initially, he trained in baseball and then moved on to play American football, practicing both until he entered high school. He would study at Cimarron Memory High School, where he would start wrestling. Apart from that, outside of school, he would train nothing more and nothing less than Shaolin-style Kung Fu. After his time in high school, it is known that he would enter the College of Southern Nevada, but he would stop studying, as he considered that this was not his thing. In the year 2000, he would start training Brazilian jiu-jitsu and earned a living working as a substitute teacher in an after-school program. He aspired to become a firefighter like his father, but in his own words, he realized that to get ahead, he would have to become a brown-noser, and this demotivated him.
Yes, well, who's hungry?
That if cooked, this is all very well, but when he starts handing out beatings. Well, recently in the video of, Bilal Muhammad, while the person in the video started at 22, our protagonist began even later in life. After training in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, competing in tournaments, and playing rugby for a Las Vegas team, he chose to pursue mixed martial arts. Driven because many said that his grappling skills were quite good. So, close to turning 28, he makes his debut on April 17th, 2004, in a promotion called Rage of the River, in a heavyweight tournament. Although yes, this is tricky, because even though he debuted at 28 years old, he had been doing contact sports and martial arts from a very young age. Anyway, that same night, he dispatched, according to the record, Bo Cantrell and Jerry Bravnovich. He submitted the first one with a hammerlock and the second one by split decision, winning said tournament and making an effective debut.
Great.
But it's a shame there's no life. He adds a couple more victories before facing off against Jason Gottlieb, applying a nice rear naked choke to cut off his oxygen supply. Two months later, he would again demonstrate his grappling skills by submitting Jerome Smith with a supposed arm triangle. Mind you, that's what the record says, but look at it closely, this is an Ezekiel. By this point, he would have a perfect 6-0 record, but life decided it was time to tarnish it. He has a fight in Mother Russia in the Bodog fight. His counterpart would be another guy with a trucker's physique named Josh Curran, with whom he went not to a war, but to a bear fight. After 3 rounds, and with both fighters minutes away from having a heart attack, Curran takes a unanimous decision, snatching the undefeated record from our protagonist. The scene of victory would return as he dispatched Vince Lucero and Mario Rinaldi in the first round by technical chaos based on punches. But he adds another loss by falling to a unanimous decision against Ben Rodwell in the International Fight League. After winning a decision against Shane Ott, he enters the International Fight League heavyweight tournament. And he starts by grinding Brian Vettel, who gets some Hiroshima-style bombs dropped on his face. He makes it to the tournament final, and there he clashes gloves with Antoine Jut, whose name made me think he was French, but no, he's Brazilian. Antoine would put up a fight in the first round, but as soon as the second starts, Nelson turns off his lights with a right hook and a couple of always effective, super necessary punches. Thus becoming the inaugural heavyweight champion of the International Fight League. And he doesn't remain a paper champion as he defends his title a couple of times, which didn't make it to the second round. He gives the Brazilian, Fabiano Schenner, a beating like a 70s-style marriage, short but violent. He resets Brad Eames' brain with a right hook loaded with violence. Unfortunately for Nelson, the International Fight League shuts down due to financial problems. Not everyone is lucky enough to have billionaire brothers who own casinos, hotels, and invest in a mixed martial arts company as friends, unlike a certain bald individual. Nelson would be out for a few months, but he would return to action in the Elite XC. He is scheduled to fight with the pitbull Andrei Arlovsky, who after a first intense round, knocks Nelson out with a tremendous blow. He loses again to the communist Jeff Monson by unanimous decision, adding to his previous defeats. With a 13-4 record, he participates in the Ultimate Fighter Heavyweights Trials. Rampage Jackson and Rasha Devins would coach this edition, with Devins choosing Nelson. In the Ultimate Fighter, he wins his 3 fights, including one against Kimbo Slice, who already has a history on the show. The fights within the Ultimate Fighter don't count towards fighters' official records, which is a huge bummer in my opinion.
Nobody cares.
In this edition comes the final, which is the only one that counts for professional record. His opponent would be Brendan Staub, who does not make it to the second round, as Nelson kills a few of his neurons like this. And after sending his conscience for a walk, Roy becomes the winner of the Ultimate Fighter, and he also takes the knockout bonus of the night.
What great news!
He makes his official UFC debut on March 31st, 2010 against Stefan Struve, knocking him out in under 40 seconds. A spectacular start. That's why you can't be too confident. He was chest high to him and still knocked his lights out with a tremendous punch. There are no small opponents, although, well, we are all short compared to this guy. This win, besides being an excellent company debut, earns him more money as he takes the Chaos of the Night bonus for the second consecutive time.
The money, money, money.
With a 15-4 record and 2 tremendous victories in his 2 UFC appearances, it seemed everything was going wonderfully for Roy. And although probably the vast majority will remember him from his time in UFC, Ultimate Fighting Championship, it was certainly here where he began to accumulate losses.
I didn't expect that.
First, he falls to Junior Dos Santos by unanimous decision after a 3-round war. After losing to Dos Santos, he fell into a sort of depression for some reason. He felt aimless and without purpose, so he took some time to focus on his training and recover from some injuries. The goal was to come back strong on the path to victory, but it didn't go entirely well as he was defeated again by unanimous decision, but this time by Frank Mir. But life rewards the persistent and adds a very important name to his record of victims by defeating none other than Mirko Krokov by technical knockout, whose story is also on the channel. In the UFC, Ultimate Fighting Championship 143, he clashes with Fabrizio Verdum, with whom he went to war. And after 3 rounds, Verdum takes a unanimous decision, but both secure the fight of the night bonus. Verdum also has history after this, with a career resurgence, adding 3 wins to his record, all by knockout or T-knockout. First, he knocks out Dave Herman. Then he crushes Matt Mitrione. And finishes off by annihilating the French chocolate Che Congo. For defeating the French fighter, he earned a point and secured the knockout of the night bonus against his Congolese opponent. Imagine what it's like to be a Frenchman, and on top of that, they blow 50,000 bucks at you. My mother's life. But getting back to Nelson, this is technically where we have to start talking about his downfall. First, he has 2 unanimous decision losses to 2 future UFC Ultimate Fighting Championship champions. First, he falls to Steve Miocic, and then he is dominated by Daniel Cormier. The good thing is that he then adds another legend to his knockout list with Minotauro Nogueira. And we also have history with these 3. From 2014 to 2016, he had 4 losses and only 2 wins. Alexander Volkov defeated him by unanimous decision in a UFC fight that was crucial for his career in the organization. And with a battered record of 22-14. As one of the most entertaining heavyweight fighters who can face anyone, he tries to negotiate a new UFC Ultimate Fighting Championship contract. But Dana kicks him in his fat behind. Fortunately, he signs with Bellator and debuts on September 24th, 2017. His opponent would be Javi Ayala, with whom he goes to a 3-round war where there was a lot of groundwork. After 15 minutes, Nelson won a unanimous decision in his successful debut. And I know many will be thinking, he came from UFC, Ultimate Fighting Championship, the level is superior to the Bellator, no, but he sure racked up many more victories, well, no.
What? What do you mean, no?
In a span of 2.5 years, he racked up 5 damn losses in a row. And he even gave the pleasure of revenge to Matt Mitrione and Mirko Krokov, who defeated him by decision. He was even knocked out by Fedor's former teammate, Sergei Kharitonov. Considering that he had become more of a loser than those who pay for mentorships to Colorado Masivo and Yados, Bellator also removes him from the roster of fighters, and his story could end here. But it continues. After leaving Bellator, they focus on personal projects, teaching mixed martial arts and Brazilian jiu-jitsu, and spending time with family. In 2021, there were rumors that he might sign with the Bare-Naked Fighting Championship, a bare-knuckle boxing organization, but fortunately for his brain, the deal fell through. In 2023, he returns to compete in Jorge Masvidal's bare-knuckle mixed martial arts promotion. In his debut, he clashes with Dylan Sheckler, who fails to survive the first round. But the joy doesn't last long, as on November 10th of that same year, he falls by split decision against Alan Belcher. And from that moment on, he has not fought anymore, although he keeps training. Technically, we could say that he is semi-retired, although latent, waiting for a good monetary opportunity to put on the gloves. He is currently 48 years old, married, and has 2 children. His mixed martial arts record has been pretty messed up, with a 24-20 positioning here on our list of pure mixed martial arts victories. He definitely deserves a spot on the list of fantastic fatties. His nickname, Big Country, comes from his start in mixed martial arts, as his teammates thought he was a hillbilly who knew how to fight very well. Much has been said about whether he did well to fight in the heavyweight category. Even Joe Rogan and the fantastic Bald Buzz Rutten believe that he could have done a great job in light heavyweight. Nelson claims that losing his belly doesn't indicate weight loss, as he hasn't weighed under 220 pounds since his teenage years. And who knows, during his time in UFC, he made sure to give Dana several headaches. And how can we forget when he kicked John McCarthy? Or that time when USADA caught him smoking marijuana and he used the old reliable excuse of it's medicinal and the bastard avoided the sanction.
That's a trick, huh?
The man in the video, a family man, tries to control himself despite the many defeats in his career. But he made sure to stand out with his ability to knock out his charisma, his courage to face anyone. Having on his fight list tremendous names, as we have seen, and becoming the favorite fighter of many. Proving that you don't have to debut at a young age or have the physique of The Rock. Sometimes it's enough to have a good beard, belly, dynamite in the fists, and resilience to get ahead. Thank you people for being there.